The world is a mess. This is the most exciting time in One Piece. Well, not right now because we're on break for a month, but I've maintained this. I've been saying this for a long time, that every chapter, any One Piece chapter that contains an admiral, fleet admiral, previous admiral, typically those chapters are going to be a whopping 10 out of 10. People will say, well, Braga, what are you talking about? Every chapter of One Piece is a 10 out of 10. Either way, this is exciting stuff. I look forward to the end of arc wrap-ups, but this one is a bit different because this end of arc wrap-up feels like we're transitioning to the final saga. Matter of fact, it is confirming that we're transitioning to the final saga by Oda. Now, the world is a mess. We have two new Yonko. We don't have warlords anymore. One of the people that became a Yonko was Buggy. Sabo is missing. Vivi is missing. We saw Sabo on a poster at some point in a recent chapter, and there's so much to sift through. Recently, just to get you guys into my thought process, went back and reread chapter 956, 957. Had some amazing takeaways, right? In 956, do you guys remember that Garp hinted about something major happening? Of course, now we know it involves Sabo and Vivi, but everyone was saying that this reverie was a bad one. And Garp even said the Navy is using its full resources to solve the matter. So that's one major problem. But then for Blackbeard talking about the Navy taking something. And the translation for that is so wonky because it's been translated in so many different ways. The official translation based off what Blackbeard says is that if the Navy is only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. Meaning, if you guys are just gonna have it and not use it, I'm going to make the best of it. And of course, in 956, we find out the warlords were actually being attacked. Fun fact, the Marine that was going after Buggy was actually Stainless. You know, when I think of Vice Admirals, I don't have a great thought anyway, because typically they have been underwhelming. All right, in general, Vice Admirals have been trash. But Stainless is not somebody that was really fearful of taking down Buggy. And I never thought it'd make sense for Buggy to get taken down anyway. So now we just have to know the fate of Weevil, Mihawk, and Boa Hancock. I've told you guys this before, but of course Mihawk isn't getting captured. Weevil makes a lot of sense to be free as well because we don't know much about him. Hancock is the person that would be a huge W just because she has history with the world government and the Celestial Dragons. You can more so justify her being captured if Kobe has help, and then you can elevate Kobe the way in which we expect to happen in this moment. But something in 957 piqued my interest. At the beginning of chapter 957, Akainu tells Fujitora that he's happy. He must be happy that the warlords are gone. They're abolished. And then reading the panel, at first I was like, what? How did we overlook this? But no, Sakazuki says he was against it, right? The decision to abolish the warlord system, but he can't overrule the king's decision. If you look at it, king's decision, my first thought is Imu. But look at the punctuation. It's after S, that means it's multiple. So they're talking about the decisions of the multiple kings that they cannot overrule, which is interesting that the kings actually have say over something major like this. Of course, they are technically the people that are quote unquote in charge, but a huge decision like this. I mean, the fleet admiral was against it because we know the warlords, they were somewhat maintaining the balance against the Yonko. Either way, we move on. Fujitora says to Akainu that he talks about necessary sacrifices to keep the warlords going, but he can only say that because he's never been one of them. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? He's never been one of them. Fujitora, were you a warlord? Are you the warlord that took Zephyr's arm? Wouldn't even make sense, but what does that mean? My interpretation when this first happened is that he's never really experienced a warlord or never been in a situation where he was taken advantage of by a warlord because he's so goddamn strong. Something interesting here is while Fujitora is saying this, Akainu's cap is low, and typically in anime, sometimes One Piece, it indicates that you don't know a character that well and they may be hiding something. So I think 100% Akainu has probably interacted with the warlord before and pirates. That's why his disdain for them is so great. Either way, this chapter hypes the SSG to all hell because it's saying that the balance is in jeopardy and that the SSG, we have to trust them to do their job. Interesting shit. Let's move on. So then we see Akainu again and he talks about the return of rocks. And then he says they're too busy at a time like this to do anything else. And again, think about everything that's going on at this point. It's post-reverie. They're trying to abolish the warlord system. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Sabo and Vivi. Green Bull and Fujitora were just fighting Sabo and the rest of the revolutionaries at the reverie. Honestly, the faith of the people in the world government is at an all-time low because so many things are happening in succession. But either way, way, they find out the Yonko about to team up, Big Mom and Kaido. Here's the thing, time and time again in this chapter, it's referenced that, yo, this doesn't really make sense. Sengoku said they always had a tempestuous rivalry, which indicates, hey, why are they teaming up? They don't really like each other. Sengoku also said they were constantly killing each other within the group. Another portion of meaningful dialogue. Sengoku talks about the Rocks members, Shiki, Silver X, Captain John, Wang Ji, Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, but they don't talk about it because none of them actually want to tell the tale because they didn't like each other, which of course we could surmise based on how Oda is setting up how they went down. Because guys, I'm one of those people that I do not think that it was straight up Roger and Garp going crazy, just defeating all. No, it was infighting. Whitebeard probably defected. They did not like each other. They don't even want to talk about what happened. Even though you were on this amazing crew, they don't want to talk about it. Rocks was supposed to be king of the world. We ain't gonna talk about it. And I think that opened the door for the world government to say, hey, this didn't happen, because the people that were a part of it are probably embarrassed based on how everything went down, because those collection of individuals, they went on to be Yonko. Some call Shiki a pseudo Yonko because of the power he wielded. And then you have people under like Silver Axe and Wang Ji, Captain John, who have their own legends. And people are tying Captain John's legend into Buggy and saying that could be the reason why Buggy became a Yonko. And I'm genuinely curious. What do people think about that? My theory is that the warlords joined him because that's the only thing that makes sense. He defeated Stainless and people that were going after him. And I think he was able to convince the other warlords to join him. And that's how they could basically stay protected. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of Mihawk being under Buggy, but of course, Buggy for the most part is a meme, even though we love him. And so Mihawk working for Buggy would be hilarious, because remember their interaction in Marineford, Mihawk couldn't actually cut Buggy. It'd be amazing if he got respect from that interaction. Either way, Oda's going to troll us continuously with this character, where the meme came true. I was also rereading Marineford recently, and Buggy, that's where he enacted his plan to make Captain Buggy famous. I don't know if he can get much more famous than this, right? In hindsight, it's funny because based on how they were talking, I thought Big Mom and Kaido would fall because they can work together. On the rooftop, they didn't have amazing teamwork, but they worked pretty well together. But they're just so damn strong, you know, it makes sense. They even said we can't defeat both of them if they're together. And it's just a lot, because for the most part, Big Mom was covering for Kaido. But either way, I can't imagine being a citizen right now because of the headlines. Just imagine the reverie, right? It's a major thing that happens in the world. Everyone knows about it. The headlines from that: the second in command of the Revolutionary Army attacks the reverie, fights two admirals. The princess from one of the major kingdoms, Alabasta, she's missing, we're assuming. Something major happened with the kingdom. Then we move forward, you find out that Big Mom and Kaido have teamed up to Yonko. Now fast forward, Big Mom and Kaido got defeated by 3 Supernova, Kid, Law, and Luffy. Luffy's now officially a Yonko. Captain Buggy, who people remember from Marineford, broadcasting a lot of it, he is now officially a Yonko. The warlords are abolished. If I'm a citizen, I'm like, bro, I want to move. And you're like, move where? From Earth. Take me to where Enel is. I am gone. Fairy Verth on me. No, seriously though, it is crazy just how much is going on and just how rapidly it's happening. I think one of the things I'm mostly interested in is how they navigate through this new dynamic of Yonko. How did Buggy get so much influence for them to name him a Yonko this quickly? We know what Luffy has in his tuck. Bro, those territories are going to start to convert immediately. Fishman Island, Drum Island. Bro, Loki, Skypiea, nigga. They're going to start converting and carry the flag of the Straw Hats. And who knows who else Bartolomeo is trying to convince to join the Straw Hats or force them into submission. Mind you, yes, we see the lovable side of him because he's a Straw Hat fanatic. He is a cannibal. He kills people and probably eats them. Either way, Shanks and Blackbeard, that's the major clash that a lot of people anticipate to be a game changer, because once Shanks and Blackbeard, or Shanks, falls, do you replace him, right? Do you throw Kid in there next, or Law? Are you going to consistently scramble until it's literally the Straw Hats and their alliance and whomever, Kaido as a Pokemon going against the world government? Is this what's going to happen? Because a lot of people, including myself, felt like we're probably not going to have time for Yonko system to even exist. It's still here and still kicking. A bit rushed, but I think the Yonko as well is so smart. It's so damn smart. Them giving Law, Kid, and Luffy the same bounty and making Luffy a Yonko. If for whatever reason Shanks could fall, you could literally move Law or Kid in that spot and no one would really blink an eye, because hey, Luffy's a Yonko. So what if we put another 3 billion berry pirate there? They are setting it up just in case something else was to happen. The world government, I mean, I think overall the Gorosei, in my eyes, they've fallen just in intimidation, because now they're just consistently scrambling. But that's because of the Straw Hats and just how menacing they can be, or just how much they disrupt peace, quote unquote peace. Either way, I can't wait for all this to play out. Guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about the world just being a mess? Going back and rereading these chapters, I'm losing my mind at just how much detail details Oda put in the story for us to pick up on, and how things have played out based on what we knew back then. That's one of the more fun things about going back and rereading, just how much you missed and how many things Oda threw in the story for us to pick up, for us to catch, because he's a master of that, right? But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Again, guys, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.